got is a triangle defence. They can exploit the wings, and Travis Dodd with his pace, no doubt about it. If they can get him behind the Victory defence, it's going to spread eagle them and it's going to cause some havoc. Also Pantelis on the other flank. I think Victory have got to be careful with that. I think it's going to unfold in the course of the game.
This game always throws up something special. Will the grand final, you think, for Adelaide be playing in the back of their minds at the same venue?
I think professional sports people could get over week to week. I think more of a concern is next week. They've got the biggest game in the history with the Champions League quarter-final. I think that could be an issue. But I'm a biased Melbourne supporter, so I'll try and be impartial on my analysis, but I'm going for Melbourne tonight.
10 years playing at Bob James Stadium. We can't blame you, Michael, but we'll look forward to hearing your thoughts again at halftime. Back to you, Andy.
Well, thank you, Michael, and thank you, Mickey. Paul Trimboli. It's the best attack tonight over 3 games against the best defence over 3 games. Which will hold sway?
Well, I'm an attacker by heart, and I'd love to say the attackers. It's going to be interesting because Melbourne like to funnel through the middle. We know that. They ripped Newcastle to shreds down the central corridor. Adelaide, that's a strength for them. Sally and Reid in the midfield, Oganovsky and Costanza at the back. So that's going to be a key matchup.
And a big test for Melbourne tonight to see how they go without Jose Luis Lopez on World Cup duty with Costa Rica. They've just beaten Suriname and Haiti, so it's a good excursion for him. But of all the players who've received all the plaudits, Lopez hasn't been one of them. Let's see how the Melbourne Victory go tonight without their Costa Rican international input. They've got some big guns ready to fire. Archie Thompson, Kevin Muscat just getting ready, along with Michael Theokotos, who has been the impenetrable wall for Melbourne Victory so far this season. It's a huge game building here at the Telstra Dome. Adelaide United, they're supported by plenty of Crow Eaters who've come across the border, and probably a couple of expats who have been plants within the Melbourne community to get ready for tonight. The Blue and White Brigade are in force as well. All things are set and ready to go. Melbourne, in fact, haven't beaten Adelaide since that grand final, that fateful day. But they've been on fire so far, the Victory, and Adelaide will need all hands to the pump to douse that flame tonight. Whichever way it goes, though, expect sparks to fly. Kick-off between Melbourne and Adelaide right after this.
This program brought to you by Hyundai Santa Fe, built family tough. Carlsberg, probably the best beer in the world. Hungry Jack's, the burgers are better at Hungry Jack's. Pepsi Max, maximum taste, no sugar. Mighty Helpful Mitre 10, finally someone's fixing hardware. And Ballantyne's Finest Scotch Whisky, official spirit of the Hyundai A-League.
Melbourne in September, and there's a finals-like atmosphere as 2 teams who missed the top 4 last campaign square off in a top-of-the-table clash. It's the Victory against fierce rivals Adelaide United to kick off round 4. Let's check on the 2 teams. And the Melbourne Victory, it starts with Michael Theokotos, of course, yet to concede a goal so far this season in his 2 starts. Sebastian Ryle steps in at right back in the absence of Michael Thwaite. He's the new face in a back 4. Kevin Muscat, the captain, of course, in the heart of defence, alongside Roddy Vargas up against his good friend Sash Ognanovsky tonight. Left back, the youngster Evan Berger, so impressive to start this campaign for the Victory. Right back, Matthew Kemp, the former Adelaide United player, comes up against his former team tonight. Billy Selesky will be asked to anchor midfield in the absence of the Costa Rican Jose Luis Lopez, but there is a Costa Rican in midfield in the shape of Hernandez. Archie Thompson, he lines up on the left side of midfield, but you can expect him to be getting forward, of course. 5 goals in that grand final. Danny Allsop up front alongside Nay Fabiano. It's a very attacking lineup from Ernie Merrick, a 4-4-2 from the Melbourne Victory. undefeated so far this season. And we take a look at Adelaide United. Former Melbourne keeper Eugene Galekovic in goal, of course. And they were forced to make one change. Alamau out injured, so Robbie Cornthwaite steps in at right back. The centre halves, Ange Costanzo alongside big Sash Ognanovski. They've proved so hard to get past those two. The Adelaide United back four rounded out with Scott Jamieson, who's been very impressive at left back. Travis Dodd, the captain, 5 goals of his 15 have come against the Victory. Paul Reed in the centre of midfield. He's been ultra impressive as well in the opening 3 rounds. Jonas Sally, the new Aussie, in midfield for Adelaide United. And Lucas Pantelis, the vice-captain of the club, on the left. Cristiano is up front. He scored 2 against the Victory in pre-season. And Paul Agostino, he scored 2 against the Victory last time he came up against them as well last year at the Telstra Dome. It's a 4-4-2 lineup. Football doesn't need a state of origin because interstate rivalries don't come any bigger than this. So after slamming 5 past the champions last time out, it's all-out attack from the Victory as they try and break down an Adelaide team which has kept 9 clean sheets in a 13-game unbeaten streak. A heavy schedule of 5 games in 16 days, including an AFC Champions League quarter-final. That's what's in front of Adelaide United and Aurelio Vidmar. And it all starts after this break. Welcome back to the Telstra Dome. Archie Thompson fired up for this one. Just 1 game in 10 games, 1 goal in 10 games against Adelaide United, aside from those 5 in the grand final. So we take a look at the Melbourne Victory bench. Mitch Langerak, Tom Pondolyak and Stephen Pace, and of course Grant Brebner are available to Ernie Merrick, while Adelaide United have the young goalkeeper Mark Birighitti, Diego, Daniel Mullen and Fabian Barbiero. They're the 4 subs that Aurelio Vidmar has at his disposal. Of course, he's going to be calling on the squad in this arduous schedule over the next 16 days. Our referee tonight is Matthew Breeze. Melbourne have just 2 wins in 8 home games under Breeze and 5 losses. Not a stat they like to look at. Well, during the week, Aurelio Vidmar dubbed Melbourne the Dream Team, so that must make Adelaide the Redeem Team. Don't forget, you can watch this game on HD, high definition. Call Foxtel on 131 999 to enhance your viewing experience. Archie Thompson and Hernandez combining early on. Ignores Berger. Linking the passes together early, the Melbourne Victory. And former Socceroo Paul Trimboli is alongside. Ernie Merrick has gone with an attacking lineup tonight. Do you expect more goals to reign in?
I think there will be some goals. Not sure there will be as many as last time, but good evening, Brennan. What a wonderful fixture. Every time the fixtures come out at the start of the year, you look for this one, Melbourne-Adelaide, and great rivalry built up over a number of years. Adelaide with a nemesis of Melbourne early, 3 straight wins, and then in year 2, Melbourne beat them 4 times. So now every time they take the field, there's something to prove.
Here's Billy Selesky in that holding midfield role, but pushing forward at the same time, looking for Hernandez. And Selesky had continued his run, well broken up by Adelaide United. Here's Cornthwaite. And the flag went up. The ball was out of play, and a throw in to the Victory. Agostino and Cristiano getting on the end of things. Pretty impressive when your two strikers are coming off last start braces against the Melbourne Victory. Agostino last time at the Telstra Dome, and Cristiano in the pre-season cup.
Definitely Melbourne intent on putting the attacking lineup, but they'll be very, very aware of the threat not only by Cristiano and Agostino, but also by Travis Dodd, who's got a wonderful history against the Victory.
Paul Reed and Pantelis over the free kick. Plenty of white shirts to aim at. Reed drives it low and cleared by Muscat. Cornthwaite getting down the right. And testing Theokotos. He was backtracking for a moment. But a big night for Cornthwaite, stepping in for the injured Alamau.
A big challenge for Robbie Cornthwaite. We expected Alamau, if he played, to get forward. Not so much Robbie Cornthwaite. That time the attempted cross and nearly getting the better of Michael Theokotos, who was backpedaling quickly.
Wins the header. Hernandez knocked off the ball by Sally, and here's a chance for Pantelis on the break. Still Pantelis. Agostino was at the back post, but cleared by Vargas. Scott Jamieson under pressure to find Cornthwaite in plenty of space. The ball just won't quite sit for him. Plenty of talk and emotion from Roddy Vargas early on. He said during the week and in our pre-game show that this game, this rivalry, has overtaken the Sydney-Melbourne one.
Tonight also, young Sebastian Ryle coming back into the lineup, so more expected from Vargas and Muscat in those controlling roles.
Muscat's clearance finds Nay Fabiano. Adelaide crying out for a handball decision to go against the Brazilian, but Melbourne have the throw. Now the crowd want a free kick. Fabiano just dumped to the turf by Cornthwaite. It's Billy Selesky, his confidence sky high after performing so well with the Olyroos. And welcoming the challenge tonight of playing that anchoring role. There's Berger on the move. Fabiano. Lovely linking with Thompson. And so close for Berger. Thompson teed it up for him. Soft free kick given against Vargas, taken quickly by Paul Reed, trying to get Adelaide moving in an attacking sense, but who would have thought Evan Berger would have the first chance for the Melbourne Victory. Here comes Galekovic. Comfortable take as Allsop tried to get on the end of Hernandez pass.
Adelaide need to be careful turning the football over in their attacking half. That's when Melbourne's at their most dangerous. Hernandez picking balls up in the loose area in midfield. With that sort of strike force, very dangerous for Adelaide.
An easy decision for Matthew Breeze. But that lovely interchange of passing, and for Evan Berger to be involved from left back. That's an encouraging sign for Ernie Merrick.
Yeah, it's wonderful to have players with the vision and touch of Fabiano and Hernandez. What it does do is it encourages people to run off the ball because they know they're a very, very good chance of getting on the end of something. Thompson, beautiful wide positioning, got himself into the box. That's going to be the danger there for Robbie Cornthwaite.
Muscat flighting it towards into the penalty area, headed clear by Ognanovski. Look at all those blue shirts forward for the victory. It's Nay Fabiano. Zaleski was telling Muscat what to do there. Not short on confidence at the moment, but Evan Berger has turned it over. Travis Dodd pounces. Did well to keep his feet as well. And Berger came again. A little tug on the shirt earlier in the move helped him out as well.
Yeah, a little bit of a wake-up call for the young Evan Berger there. The danger of Travis Dodd. You don't need to give him any opportunity.
Matthew Breeze just wants an early chat to get on top of things. Of course, this contest can get out of hand at times between these two arch rivals. Archie just speaking out of school. Swept wide to Jamison. Disappointing delivery in the end. But here was that chance earlier. Evan Berger on the move.
Yeah, wonderful vision from Nay Fabiano. He knew Thompson was in that left-hand channel. Berger made the run to support. It was a lovely cutback from Archie Thompson. Unfortunately, Berger not making contact.
Would have preferred it on his left foot, no doubt. Good strong header from Vargas, but Cornthwaite has stayed down.
Fabiano with the arm up. Nothing sinister, but catching Robbie Cornthwaite.
The big defender is fine to continue, and Melbourne give the ball back after Dodd kicked it out of play. Something the Melbourne players were talking about during the week. They're closing down at the front. We saw it there with Allsop and Thompson, and now they forced the throw in. Good strength from Jonas Sally in midfield, and Hernandez, who thought he should have had the free kick moments earlier. Cristiano looking for Reid in the area. Tries for a penalty. And a free kick has been given outside the box.
It was a delayed decision there for Matthew Breeze, perhaps waiting to see if there was any advantage. Kevin Muscat bemused by the decision. Not that we ever see Kevin Muscat happy with the decision that goes against him, but it was a high foot. He perhaps pulled out at the last second. Paul Reid went to ground, perhaps feeling the contact was imminent. It never came. The referee on the far side looked to his assistant referee for help on the decision. In the end, took the decision himself.
And where did the infringement occur? Did it happen inside the box or out? He's given it outside the box, but so close to a penalty being given by Matthew Breeze. But a wonderful position for either Paul Reid or Lucas Pantelis. You'd fancy it would be the left footer. Little split in the wall as well. Pantelis just over. Theocritos watched it all the way. Let's have another look at the foul. Where did it occur?
Right on the edge. I think the referee got it right. Kevin Muscat's foot was outside the area. In the end, the free kick went over the bar. Theoklitos had it covered, read it off the boot of Pantelis. Muscat still looking inquisitively at the assistant referee. I'm not sure it was the assistant referee's decision there. I think Matthew Breeze made that call.
Yeah, there was certainly no flag from the assistant. Breeze was looking for confirmation, none was forthcoming, and then, as you say, the belated whistle. There's Pantelis with Jamison overlapping. Still Pantelis. Good tracking by Matthew Kemp, but they can't prevent a corner to the visitors.
Good positive play from Lucas Pantelis there. He had the overlap of Jamison, but he just didn't quite know when to play it. He had it on a couple of times. The defence backed off. He went himself. In the end, good work from Matthew Kemp, who would know Lucas Pantelis very well. Spent some time together at Hindmarsh.
I saw Kevin Muscat still talking about that earlier decision with Matthew Breeze. But it will be Paul Reid to deliver. Travis Dodd was arriving, but harmlessly through to Matthew Kemp. Vargas, good strong header. Things just not going right for Evan Berger so far tonight.
Adelaide have started very well, playing that traditional 4-4-2 that they play so well. Keeping possession. They've won numerous free kicks in their attacking half, just to take that early momentum that Melbourne would love to have created.
Cristiano comes. And that's a clear foul on Vargas on Reid. Melbourne clearly leading that foul count.
A sign of Adelaide doing a wonderful job of protecting the football.
They've had some handy set-piece situations already without making them count. Reid again. And again Vargas with the header. Still alive for Adelaide though. Still can't clear. And a snapshot from Ognanovski.
It was a wonderful ball played in from Paul Reid. Everyone drew towards the goal. It got flicked out by Vargas and played back in. It was a mishmash, and all of a sudden Ognanovski got the volley. You feel if he had got that under the bar, it would have been difficult for Theoklitos. We see here the free kick given away by Vargas. Again, the ball came back inside, not cleared by Matthew Kemp, then Ognanovski with the snapshot.
Hernandez, Thompson, and now Nay Fabiano. Thompson showing his tricks to Robbie Cornthwaite. Tricks to Berger. It's Thompson again. Cornthwaite stretches out the long left leg. Still Archie Thompson though. Hernandez. Looking for Allsop at the back post.
Wonderful work in a tight area first by Thompson and then by Hernandez. Created that opening to get the cross in.
Again, a bit of room to move for first Nay Fabiano, then Hernandez, and now Thompson. Berger's on the run again. Archie Thompson just overhit the pass to Hernandez, who can thump them on the right foot. Berger again.
Good covering Robbie Cornthwaite there. Adelaide are playing a dangerous game. If they're going to sit off, allow the likes of Thompson and Nate Fabiano to come off the man to collect the ball in midfield and turn and face them, could be a long evening.
Matthew Kemp has gone across to take the corner. Good delivery too. Zaleski to whip it back in. Galekovic comes. Only punches as far as Kemp. He was looking for Thompson. Ange Costanzo looking to be nursed through this period. 5 games in 16 days. He's got worrying knee problems, and Adelaide United looking to nurse several players through this period. They don't have many games in such a short space of time like they face in the next couple of weeks, with that trip to Japan midweek to take on the Kashima Antlers in leg 1 of the quarterfinal. They face Sydney and Newcastle as well in the league in the next 2 weeks, so a busy schedule for them. Zaleski just slipping on the turf, but the ball found its way through to Hernandez. Matthew Kemp is onside.
Good work for Matthew Kemp. That's something Melbourne Victory will need to do. It's all very well having the 4 forward players, but if they just stand in that forward area, that time dropping off in the midfield, allowing Kemp with the overlapping run, that's the way to unhinge the Adelaide backline.
And it was the new man in that back 4, Robbie Cornthwaite at right back, who kept Kemp onside. Costanzo trying to play the offside trap.
One of the beauties of having a settled back 4 is you can play those tactics. But once you have one new member, you have to be careful.
Cornthwaite shut down at the other end by Billy Zaleski.
The game really struggling to find any sort of rhythm at the moment. It's very stop-start, very cagey affair.
Cornthwaite is hanging it up for Theocritos. Kevin Muscat trying to lead the break. Nice ball to Thompson. Hey, Fabiano. Allsop waits in the middle. Good possession this for the Victory. Cristiano just nipping away at the heels of Zaleski.
Yeah, striker's tackle, if you like, trying to track back and help out. Zaleski always had the ball out in front of him. It was always going to be difficult for Cristiano. He probably should have let him go. He'd done the hard part, track back, run Zaleski into trouble, but then fouled him.
What about that for domination of possession in the last 5 minutes? But easy to see why Cristiano tops the fouls committed stat for Adelaide United. Pretty clumsy from the striker, and now Evan Berger can try and whip one in. Galekovic, it's comfortable again.
It's going to be a difficult night for Melbourne in the air if they loop that high ball in there. Galekovic very sound. Plus you've got the tall timber, Olganovsky and Cornthwaite.
Another header won by Roddy Vargas. And so much has happened, so many things have happened in this fixture. And it all started when Louis Brain scored a goal after just 11 seconds in their first ever A-League meeting back in 2005. Still waiting for a real shot to test either keeper. Chris Agostino nearly did there. Muscat finds Zaleski. He's got Thompson in space. Berger setting off on a run. Found by Thompson with an exquisite pass. Couldn't quite find Allsop in the middle.
Wonderful movement again by the Melbourne Victory. Archie Thompson stepping back in the midfield, taking possession, and then the run from Evan Berger. Brilliant, providing the outlet. His cross was just too far ahead of the Allsop Fabiano strike force that was ready to pounce.
Zaleski and Thompson, look at their understanding. Zaleski. But there's no doubt that the Melbourne Victory have targeted Robbie Cornthwaite, obviously a makeshift right back tonight in the absence of Alamau, more of a centre half Robbie Cornthwaite, and so much attack has gone down that side.
And the difficulty for Robbie Cornthwaite, at times he's manned up against Archie Thompson, but when Thompson drifts back into midfield or in centrally, does he go with him? If he goes with him, all of a sudden Evan Berger makes the run into that channel. If Travis Dodd's not aware, all of a sudden Robbie Cornthwaite gets exposed.
Lekovic's clearance found Jamison. Pantelis turning Kemp. Throw-in goes Melbourne's way. No one there for the flick on from Nay Fabiano. Dodd's height against Evan Berger. Works well for Adelaide United. Agostino. There's a shot gone wrong, but it nearly worked out for Lucas Pantelis.
Travis Dodd there, wonderful leap to head the ball into the path of Agostino. He got up brilliantly over the top of Berger. It was Vargas who came in and took his legs out. He landed heavily on that wrist. And then in the ensuing play, Agostino, no doubt he was shooting for goal. Dragged it back across, almost fell invitingly for Lucas Pantelis.
And a goal kick given, so what a miss from Pantelis. Jamison trying to switch it up. Cristiano won the header. Danger times, Agostino. Scored a couple of goals just like that last time out at the Telstra Dome.
And that's the physical presence that he brings. Agostino, we saw him here last year barge his way through Kevin Muscat to score, and it almost happened again. Inadvertent header there from Berger. Muscat perhaps waiting for Theochlitos to come and clear on the edge of the 6-yard box, but Agostino attacked it. Couldn't keep the header down.
Adelaide leading the shot stat. Thompson trying to change things. Agostino again. Nice turn as well from the big man. Finds Cristiano. Cristiano makes room for the shot. Straight at Theochlitos.
Yeah, wonderful work from Agostino. He turned Sebastian Ryle and then strode on towards goal before offloading. Used his body brilliantly.
Adelaide United have edged back in the possession stats in the last few minutes. Kevin Muscat down in the middle. What will Adelaide United do here as he gets back to his feet? Cristiano wanted to put the ball out, but why not play on now? They lost their impetus though, Adelaide United, and now Allsop picks the pocket. Nay Fabiano back to Allsop on the move. Galekovic comes, Allsop miss-hit the shot.
Yeah, no conviction in the finish. We spoke earlier, Adelaide need to be careful of turning the ball over in that midfield area. Melbourne Victory very dangerous on the break. With speed and guile, That time combination between Fabiano and Allsop.
And it all started when Cristiano tried to put the ball out because Muscat was down. Of course, it's up to the referee now. And then this opportunity stemmed from it.
Lovely weight on the pass again from Fabiano. He's so good in that situation, feeding Allsop. He knew what he was trying to do, hit back across the goalkeeper. Never got hold of it. The pitch always difficult at this time of the year, Brenton. It always takes a month or so before it settles down after the AFL season. A lot of discussion going on between Kevin Muscat and the referee. Not that that's unusual, but it's really stop-start match at the moment.
Finally ended with a smile, though.
This will suit Adelaide. They'll want to prevent Melbourne from getting any sort of rhythm.
And Nay Fabiano has received a straight red card. Matthew Breeze did not like what he heard. There was an ongoing battle between the Brazilian and Robbie Cornthwaite.
Is it Cornthwaite that's been sent off? Or is it Fabiano?
I think it's Nay Fabiano for sure. He said something out of school.
There was definitely a complaint from Fabiano, perhaps about a high arm from Robbie Cornthwaite. We've heard about the new edict in terms of disrespecting their officials. Perhaps Nay Fabiano, another victim of that. We saw Stuart Musialik feel the wrath of the referees for that very thing. And Dino Djulbic.
There he was claiming the elbow. He had a look at the claret. I think he was going to ask for Nay Fabiano to receive some treatment, and then he heard something said by Nay Fabiano seemingly, and a straight red. Melbourne down to 10 men.
And he didn't hesitate either, did he, Matthew Breeze? He was very, very strong with his decision, wasn't he?
Maybe Matthew Breeze knows his Portuguese.
Just starting, it's getting very, very testy out there. We see Cornthwaite. Oh, I think it's an accusation of a spit, perhaps, Robbie Cornthwaite.
We also saw on that angle that there was a little bump to the chest of the referee from Nay Fabiano. Surely that's not what upset Matthew Breeze and prompted the straight red.
There'll be a lot of discussion regarding that incident.
So half an hour gone. Something always happens in this contest.
It must have been something very, very definite, because in the mind of Matthew Breeze, he just got the card out straight away, Brett. There was no hesitating. He knew what he saw.
Here's Pantelis against Kemp. Of course, there were allegations of spitting in the last round from Dino Djulbic, unfounded in the end, but he's serving a spell on the sidelines. I wonder whether there might have been some spitting involved there. We'll have a look at a replay in a few moments and see whether that was the case. Stanzo looking for Jamison. Archie Thompson now working back in defence. Jamison finds Cristiano, but the offside flag is up and Muscat went through on him afterwards.
Robbie Cornthwaite in some strong words, and then definitely appeared as though there was some spit from Nay Fabiano. Robbie Cornthwaite not happy.
He just spat in my eyes, send him off, I think was what Robbie Cornthwaite was saying. And Matthew Breeze was right under his nose. So So Nate Fabiano, who's been pretty impressive in the opening 3 rounds and had started well tonight, he's looking at a long spell on the sidelines.
Yeah, definitely not what you want to see. No excuse for that from Nate Fabiano. Ernie Merrick will be very, very disappointed.
Ball breaks for Cristiano. Here's Dodd. Cornthwaite overlapping down the right. Not enough room on the pitch there.
Yeah, interesting choice there from Robbie Cornthwaite. He was standing on the touchline.
And the Telstra Dome faithful have anointed him as the villain after that run-in with Nate Fabiano. Tough for the crowd to know what's gone on as well. When they do find out, they'll be disgusted like everyone else.
Yeah, it doesn't matter whether there was a raised arm or not. It's not an appropriate response. It never is. Left very, very little room for Matthew Breese to do anything but send him off.
Evan Berger against Cornthwaite. Again, the long legs help out the right back. But ever since Archie Thompson came on in the last round for Michael Thwaite, they've looked so fluent, the attacking 4. Now down to a 3. I wonder how many opportunities they're going to create tonight. Could be a real grind now for the victory.
Interesting to see the tactics from now. We've seen Adelaide happy to play the spoiling role and take their time on set pieces. Now Melbourne down a man. Will they employ the same tactic?
Michael Theocritos was hearing the slow hand claps as he wasted some time there. Alsop goes under Galekovic. No whistle. I wonder if the ball had wound up in the back of the net, whether there might have been a whistle. Looked like a clear foul from Alsop on the keeper.
We see it. High ball bouncing. Alsop's come through. Galekovic mishandling. Cleared away by Costanzo.
They call that tunnelling in AFL, don't they? Nice flick from Jamison, but the ball ricochets out off Pantelis. Soeski just slowing things up. That's the first red card since Ross Aloisi was sent off in the grand final. Melbourne still looking for their first win over Adelaide since that grand final, of course, and they're up against it now.
We've seen some famous performances from the Melbourne Victory at this venue. 2 goals down to Central Coast Mariners. Got back, I think, with 9 men in the end that night to draw 3-3. Need to see more of this man. Carlos Hernandez struggled to get into the game.
Hernandez delivers. Galekovic backpedaling. What a goal that would have been from the Costa Rican.
Eugene Galekovic almost embarrassed. Trying to hedge his bets a little bit and get out to where he thought the ball was going to drop. Carlos Hernandez had other ideas. He saw an opportunity.
No touch from the goalkeeper, straight off the crossbar. tell us. Paul Reed makes the run to buy him a bit of time. All the way back to Ognanovsky, who switches it up to Cornthwaite. Evan Berger closing him down. Well played, Berger. He's got Hernandez through the middle. Allsop on the move as well. Here's Thompson. And Thompson wanted the ball played through. Hernandez with the confidence sky high after that free kick. Now Kent joins the attack. Did well to get past Jamison, but crowd encouraging Melbourne to keep on attacking. It's Hernandez again. Did well to fight Thompson. Galekovic saves and cleared in the end by Cornthwaite. But the team down to 10 men are fashioning the chances at the moment.
Good reflex save from Eugene Galekovic. Archie Thompson thought he'd scored.
How on earth did Hernandez thread that ball through to Thompson?
Stunning work in the tight from Hernandez.
Visitors just prepared to pass it around at the back and wait for their moment, but again they turn it over. Here's Allsop, who's heading out to the right wing for a moment. Only Thompson in the middle. He retreats to Seb Ryle, a heavy touch from the youngster. Jamison on the move. Nice run from Reed. Here's Travis Dodd. Straight into Berger. Cornthwaite just bundles Thompson over. Crowd crying out for some punishment, but Breeze just played the advantage.
He wasn't unpopular already. Playing in Archie Thompson will do nothing to redeem himself.
Vargas and Cornthwaite exchange the 1-2. United one man up, look like they just want to go to the sheds at half-time and talk over how they're going to make the most of this one-man advantage.
Yeah, it appeared that they set their stall out early, didn't they? They become very conservative, taking their time on set pieces, throw-ins. Now the extra man, although sometimes it does take that half-time break to really set the new agenda.
Selesky was looking for Hernandez, but Sally nipped in, but Seb Ryle won it back. Here's Thompson. Free kick given against Costanzo. Thompson implying that Costanzo may have been the last man, but a yellow card is shown.
And Costanzo not happy, pointing to an earlier incident, but again it was Adelaide bringing themselves undone, turning the ball over in midfield. That's when Melbourne victory at their most dangerous. Thompson knocked it past Costanzo. Perhaps was not going to get the return, but Costanzo didn't know that. He got the body across.
What do you make of Archie's argument that Costanzo was the last man?
No, I think there was an Adelaide player coming across the cover. I think it was Ognanovsky. Archie would always make that appeal, though. Good on him. That's the forward's prerogative.
Well, Hernandez hit the crossbar from about 35 yards. Now he gets a chance from 20 yards. Evan Berger is there as well. But it is Hernandez straight at Galekovic.
Good positioning from Eugene Galekovic. He wouldn't have seen that ball till late. Came through a sea of bodies. He held on to it.
Kevin Muscat and Agostino came together.
Yeah, follow through there. It looked as though Kevin Muscat left his foot there after he cleared the ball. Agostino saying the same thing. Matthew Breeze again, no hesitation.
Well handled by Agostino. I think Kevin Muscat's been trying Matthew Breeze's patience throughout the first half.
There it is, clear as day. Perhaps another one for the review committee.
Paul Reed's delivery to the back post. A chance. Great covering from Allsop.
Kevin Muscat here clearing the ball, and as Agostino came in, he lashed out with the boot, totally unnecessary. Now you can see why Agostino was so disappointed in the challenge, and that Matthew Breeze had no hesitation in pulling out the yellow card. Kevin Muscat very lucky that it wasn't something a little bit more serious.
Paul Reed delivers the corner. Agostino at the back post. A challenge not dissimilar to Steve Corica last year for Sydney FC. He saw red after following through on Steve Pantelides, but because a yellow card has been shown, I'd say you probably can't have the video issue.
No, I think it'll be deemed as being dealt with on the field by Matthew Breeze. Kevin Muscat very, very lucky. And again, it was unnecessary. The Fabiano incident unnecessary.
Crowd appreciating the clearance of Berger because of the attention from Robbie Cornthwaite. Agostino trying to link with the big right back as we enter stoppage time at the end of the first half.
A frustrating first half. Very testy. A lot of players showing their frustration. Lots of fouls, lots of stoppages. No rhythm at all in the game. We know how Melbourne like to play with that rhythm. Adelaide are also a free-flowing team when at their best, but there's been none of that tonight. Very, very cagey early, and now getting very, very testy.
Ognanovski, strong header, saw off Allsop. Will there be one final flourish before half-time? Ball through the legs of Zaleski. Breaks for Jamison. There's Paul Reed and Cristiano. Nice skill from Cristiano. Muscat pushed him down in the end. It breaks for Travis Dodd. Theokotos comes and makes a super save.
Absolutely wonderful goalkeeping from Michael Theokotos. He got out early, he sensed the danger. But what about the skill from Cristiano? Absolutely stunning. Lifted it over Kevin Muscat. Good recovery by Muscat, and Vargas smuggled it away. But then it fell for Travis Dodd. His eyes lit up. He thought he was on for the opening goal. But look at Theokotos out quickly, closing the space.
Keeps his record of not being beaten so far this season. And at half-time, the Melbourne Victory are down to 10 men. It's Melbourne 0, Adelaide United 0.
It's half-time. Time to grab a Hungry Jack's Whopper. The burgers are better at Hungry Jack's.
Well, Ernie Merrick has some thinking to do with his team down to 10 men against Adelaide United after the sending off of Nay Fabiano in the first half for spitting. So he could be facing a lengthy spell on the sidelines. It was an ugly incident in the first half, which never really got going, although Melbourne did go close to scoring. Carlos Hernandez with a free kick which smashed off the bar from 35 yards. We'll take a look at the stats from that first half. And possession was edged by Adelaide United in the end. Melbourne at one stage there in a 5-minute period had 80% possession. Time in opposition half has been split evenly. There have been 3 corners in the game, 2 to the visitors, 1 offside against them as well, 15 fouls in the game. And that 1 red card against Nay Fabiano, that's a telling stat at the moment. Let's take a look at the first half highlights. And Melbourne victory started so brightly, including Evan Berger on the left-hand side.
Yeah, the running off the ball, sensational. Threaded through Fabiano to Thompson, then Berger arrived on the scene. Air swing in the end, but it was his willingness to run after releasing the ball. Fabiano, beautiful no-look pass. Thompson into the danger area, back across. Air swing from the young Berger, but wonderful forward movement.
Would have preferred it on his left foot. Here was maybe a penalty claim for Adelaide United. Certainly Paul Reid wound up in the box. We weren't sure whether a free kick was going to be given. Matthew Breeze gave one in the end. Where did it occur?
Yeah, it was a high foot from Kevin Muscat, perhaps right on the edge of the penalty area. Didn't make contact. The referee went to his assistant, looked for some help. In the end, made the decision himself. Free kick, edge of the box.
And another free kick from Paul Reid a little later on wound up with a chance to Sash Ognanovski to score against his hometown club.
There was a miss-hit clearance from Matthew Kemp. The initial flick clearance from Vargas fell to Dodd. He put it straight back in, and it was miscontrolled by Kemp right into the path of Ognanovski, who lacked it, but couldn't keep it down.
There was all sorts of confusion in the 27th minute for Adelaide United. Cristiano was trying to put the ball out, and then they retreated, and Danny Allsop picked the pocket, and Melbourne had a chance all of a sudden at the other end.
Yeah, Reid guilty of dwelling on the football. It was Allsop. Fabiano back to Allsop, but he got no purchase on the football. Tried to hit it low and hard across the keeper. Just scuffed it, made it easy for Galekovic in the end.
And then sadly an incident we're going to be talking about throughout the week. Nay Fabiano and Cornthwaite had a running battle. He thought he'd copped an elbow. He thought his lip had been opened up. He asked Matthew Breeze to look at it, and then Matthew Breeze saw some spit emanate from the Brazilian's mouth.
And he had no hesitation, did he, Matthew Breeze? He was very, very close to the incident. The red card came out straight away. Nay Fabiano pleading his case. But in the end, there was no hesitation. You see the spit there, aimed squarely in the direction of Robbie Cornthwaite, who's shocked by it, appeals to the referee, who already, I feel, had his hand in his pocket for the red card.
So Nay Fabiano left, but the Costa Rican Carlos Hernandez nearly embarrassed Eugene Galekovic.
Yeah, Eugene Galekovic trying to get out quickly, close the space where he felt the ball was going to arrive. Hernandez had other ideas.
This really looks like being a terrific season for Carlos Hernandez. Look at the way he found Archie Thompson there.
Yeah, Hernandez at his best in the tight area, using that body and that little dummy to create the space. Here confronted by 2 players, Ognanovski and Selleck, threaded it through beautifully for Thompson, who when he hit this ball must have thought he'd scored, but Galekovic positioning absolutely exquisite again, blocked away with his legs.
We thought the first half was petering out, but then this happened right at the death.
Yeah, it started with a wonderful piece of skill from Cristiano as he lifted it over Muscat, and ended with Theoklitos. Wonderful goalkeeping. Lovely little chip over the head of Muscat, attacked the goal face, went down under the challenge, perhaps a little too easily for the Melbourne Victory players' liking. But then from there on, it was Theoklitos taking charge of the situation. Blocked Dodd, got out to him very, very quickly to smother it away.
Was a terrific save from Michael Theoklitos to keep his clean sheet record intact as we take a look at the attack stats. Shots on goal pretty even. Melbourne just edging that stat. Shots on target, they're well in front, 5 against 2 from Adelaide United. They hit the woodwork once. We saw that. Carlos Hernandez with the free kick. Balls into the penalty area 25 times. Melbourne in front in that stat, while Eugene Galekovic has had to make 4 saves. So the crowd at the Telstra Dome wait to see what happens in the second half, whether there'll be some more attacking from the Melbourne Victory now that they're down to 10 men. But some more action, of course, across the weekend. 3 more games coming your way. And it continues tomorrow live from Energy Australia Stadium in Newcastle. It's the champions up against Sydney FC. That's on Fox Sports 2. And then on Sunday, a double header for you. Wellington at home to the Mariners. First up from Westpac Stadium. That's on Fox Sports 2 from 3 p.m. And then the round is completed with the Perth Glory up against the Queensland Roar, two bottom half teams looking to make a move. That's 5 p.m. on Fox Sports 2. Premier League fans, well, it doesn't get any bigger than this. Live tomorrow night, Fox Sports 2 from 9:30. It's Liverpool up against Man U. They haven't beaten Man U in the Premier League since 2004. Catch that one, 9:30 p.m. Perfect time to be viewing that one. Liverpool and Man U on a Saturday night live on Fox Sports. So Adelaide United, we wait to see if they'll come up with more attacking intent now that they have a one-man advantage. The second half is coming up on the other side of this break. Well, there's always plenty of niggle when Adelaide United and Melbourne Victory go head-to-head. There's plenty of skill as well and plenty of talking points and commitment. Travis Dodd exemplified that. Danny Allsop nearly poached a goal, but sadly we'll be talking about the red card for Nay Fabiano for a while. Agostino and Muscat showed how to deal with a dispute. Let's go down. Before we go down, don't forget that you can be part of tonight's match. Go to foxsports.com.au/football and follow the links to Fan Zone, and you can be part of the post-match show with Andy Harper and Paul Trimboli. Let's go down to the sideline with Michael Zapponi.
Thanks, Brenton. With Michael Peterson here, former Socceroo and South Melbourne legend. Mickey P, as we said, the spinning incident was an ugly one. It's not something we like to see in the game. And Dino Djulbic outed for 5 weeks. Fabiano may be out for some time.
Seems to be creeping in the game, unfortunately. But Melbourne Victory have gone from a 4-pronged attack to a 3-pronged attack. And there had to be some restructuring at half-time for sure, Zappa.
Robbie Cornthwaite was in everything in that first half, and another unlikely hero in Evan Berger for the Melbourne Victory.
Evan Berger has been a leading light for the Melbourne Victory. His forays down the flanks have been great, and I'm sure he'll continue that in the second half. I'm still backing on Melbourne Victory to be dangerous in the second half.
All right, did have a chat to both coaches. The Melbourne Victory happy with the initial start of the game, but said now obviously they're going to have their work cut out from them. Really want Archie Thompson, Danny Allsop and Carlos Hernandez to do more work pressuring on in the midfield. And Adelaide, Phil Stubbins was saying that they've got a wonderful opportunity. They want to make sure they take this one. But Gary Cole also said to me that they're definitely still going to go for those 3 points tonight. Back up to you, Brenton.
Yeah, they can't help but attack the Melbourne Victory. But Adelaide, winless in their past 4 Hyundai A-League away games. What an opportunity for them to end that streak. Don't forget, this match is broadcast in high definition. For the ultimate in sports viewing, contact Foxtel on 131 999. So Adelaide United have had a chance to talk it over at half-time and work out how they're going to make the most of this one-man advantage. Scott Jamieson immediately bombing forward. Nice pass too from Jonas Sally, first time to Pantelis. Cut out by Muscat. An encouraging sign from the get-go for Reds fans.
They need to be positive in this second half, Adelaide. They need to take it to the Melbourne Victory, put them on the back foot. They've got the extra man.
Paul Reid looking for Agostino. Hernandez looking for Allsop and finding it. Terrific pass. Waits for his teammates to support. Again, it's Evan Berger on the run.
Again, terrific support play from Evan Berger to get up alongside Danny Allsop. Still feel the key moments could come from Hernandez and Thompson for victory.
Paul Reid down the right. Now for a goal kick, just couldn't wrap his foot around it under pressure. A rare incomplete pass from Paul Reid, who led that stat across the league coming into this game with 140 completed passes. That holding midfield role.
He's been very, very good on his return to Australia, Paul Reid. But he needs to start supplying the likes of Pantelis and Dodd in this second half. They need to get down the flanks. That's where they're at their most dangerous.
And it's route one towards Allsop. Vargas did well there. Thompson again allowed to turn. Sally cleaning things up for Adelaide United. Cristiano inviting Jamison to join the attack. Gets his way past Matthew Kemp. Pantelis with a heavy touch. Dodd can find Pantelis in plenty of space this time. Agostino and Cristiano both got in each other's way in the end. Wasn't a bad ball from Pantelis.
That was good ball movement from Adelaide, because Pantelis putting it in a nice inviting area. He's got such a nice left foot, put it right on the spot. Agostino, Cristiano in the end bumped each other off the football.
Another long ball looking for Allsop. Costanzo concedes the corner.
Good pressure there from Danny Allsop and Archie Thompson. You could see Costanzo, he knew there was some danger. He tried to give the ball a little bit more, perhaps didn't realise how far advanced Galekovic was. A little bit fortunate that the header went wide, not on goal. But that was brought about by the pressure applied by Thompson and Allsop.
Two apiece now in the corners. Evan Berger takes it again for the victory. Headed clear by Cornthwaite. It was Sebastian Ryle arriving. Chance on the break. Dodd finding Pantelis to swing back onto his left foot. Jamison arriving against Berger. Seb Ryle, who was down in the Adelaide United penalty area moments ago.
Yeah, it was a wonderful recovery run, wasn't it? He did 100 metres to get back there to help out.
Jamison testing the referee's patience as he held up the Kemp free kick for a moment.
Sense that running power of Thompson and Allsop will be important as this game wears on. You'd expect Adelaide will push Melbourne Victory back. That long ball will become the preferred option for Melbourne.
Agostino again wins the header. Cristiano just putting Theoklitos under pressure. Not a great clearance from the Melbourne keeper. Jamison with some time. Agostino finds the left back once more. Matthew Kemp closing him down. Good hassling. Chance on the counter now. Hernandez finds Thompson. Hernandez again just trying to pick out Allsop.
A lovely interchange again there. Thompson and Hernandez, he was trying to bend it in behind the defence. Just too much on the ball, but he really needs to get into the game, Carlos Hernandez. He's the one with the ability to unlock that Adelaide defence. still don't appear to be in any great hurry.
They have scored in their last 15 Hyundai A-League matches, Adelaide United. They score tonight. I fancy they'll take the 3 points. 1 goal might be enough. Nice turn from Travis Dodd. He's giving Berger a bit of a working over. Berger's been very good going forward, but Dodd's got the better of him a few times now.
Yeah, it was lovely use of the body. He used his experience there, Travis Dodd, then accelerated away. But credit Evan Berger. He got back, made the tackle, prevented the cross coming in.
Jamison. Plenty of movement in the box from Adelaide United. Vargas again wins the header. Costanzo this time finds his goalkeeper. Visitors dominating possession at the start of this second half. It was Agostino. Found Pantelis. Muscat and Agostino go at it again. The Adelaide United substitutes all going through their paces on the sidelines. Wonder how long it will be before Aurelio Vidmar makes a change. Of course, all those fixtures, I'm sure he'd like to rotate the squad as much as possible. We did ban talk of the AFC Champions League quarter-final until tomorrow morning. The focus was on getting 3 points tonight. Cornthwaite's delivery. Straight through to Theoklitos once more. Allsop has Thompson. Matthew Kemp streaming forward. Thompson finds Hernandez. Got the shot away in the end, but Costanzo did enough. Also picked up a little knock, the Costa Rican.
Yeah, lovely work again. Archie Thompson, so positive when he gets the football. Took it to the Adelaide defence. Fashioned some half opening for Hernandez. Adelaide need to show the same sort of urgency. It can be difficult sometimes if you come with a conservative approach. As we see Hernandez here, swinging the ball, connecting perhaps with Angelo Costanzo. You come with a conservative approach, and often it's hard to snap out of it if you need to then lift the intensity. Really, Vidmar will be looking to see a lot more urgency from his team.
Again, a Victory player allowed to turn and run at the defence. It's Berger. Still Evan Berger. Great run. Nearly found Thompson. Good positioning from Ange Costanzo. Now he tries to spark an attack the other way. Nothing ball from Dodd put Cristiano under pressure. The captain has it back again. Heard the instruction to get it the other side, and now it's across to Jamison, but Matthew Kemp has been a tireless worker down the right-hand side for Melbourne. This time he slips and allows Jamison to get away. Cristiano back to Sally. Thompson. He's got Allsop in front of him. He couldn't quite stay on side. He was trying to check his run. Dodd. Pantelis on the move. Jamison running onto it. Nice ball too. Dodd arrived with the header.
Much better movement there from Adelaide United. Lucas Pantelis emptying the space, allowing Jamison to run into it. His first time ball, beautifully curled in. Travis Dodd continued to run. Just didn't get over the football, but that's better from Adelaide United. Jamison, wonderful delivery. Dodd just didn't get up high enough. Rio Vidmar will be happy at that time, moving the Melbourne Victory players around, using the extra man and using the space.
Allsop won the flick on. Thompson trying to get in behind Costanzo. He's going out for a throw in anyway. Costanzo just made sure of it.
Again, good hassling work there by Archie Thompson.
Kevin Muscat looking for Allsop, who'd made the run, but it was all too late. So we're approaching the substitution hour. Who'll make the first move? Certainly like a game of chess out there at the moment.
Very cagey still, even with Adelaide man to the good. It's normally their movement that's so damaging, and their crisp passing, Adelaide. We haven't seen any of it tonight. We really haven't found any rhythm to their game.
Good use of the body from Jonas Sally, but he put Jamison under pressure. He got himself out of a hole. Well played by the youngster, and that ball almost found Pantelis.
Credit the Melbourne Victory. They're working very, very hard defensively. It starts with Allsop and Thompson harassing the Adelaide defence. They're not getting any easy outlet passes. The moment that ball goes into midfield, they close them down.
Sally saw the men free on the right, but Howard it straight into Selesky. Again, the switch is on to Jamison. Kemp, nice ball to Thompson. And he take it in his stride. Checks back and looks for Hernandez. Carlos Hernandez trying to find Kemp with the back heel, but he was closed down in the end. Thought he might have hit it first time. Agostino and Vargas reading the danger. Again, Kemp wins out against Jamison. Playing a storming game against his former club, Matthew Kemp. Nice skill from Hernandez. Finds Allsop as well. Allsop running at Costanzo. He's got Thompson in the middle, tries to bend it and find him. Great positioning from Ognenovski. Berger, good header to Thompson. Archie Thompson getting dragged back. Is he? Yes! Penalty to the Melbourne Victory. Well, they're down to 10 men, but they've got the perfect chance to take the lead.
And he's well positioned again there. Matthew Breeze had a good hard look at the situation. Blew for the penalty kick, but credit Melbourne Victory. They've been tenacious in defence against the extra man, and they've always looked the more likely in a forward sense. Allsop and Thompson running hard. This time Thompson protecting the football. Ognenovski, the arm around him. Not a lot in it, but enough. And unnecessary from Ognenovski. Had him back to the goal. Forcing him away from goal, didn't need to put the arm around him. Matthew Breeze saw enough to give the spot kick.
And guess who's putting the ball down? Kevin Muscat. 17 from 17 in the A-League. Perfection from the spot. Eugene Galekovic, former teammate, tries to stop him. Kevin Muscat. Galekovic makes the save, but Muscat on the follow-up. Well, the perfect penalty record he's gone, but he still gives Melbourne the lead.
Yeah, disappointing for Eugene Galekovic. Melbourne Victory take the lead against the odds, but they had been looking threatening, especially on the counter-attack. They were working hard, causing turnovers here. We see Archie Thompson shielding the ball beautifully, using his body. Alganovsky too aggressive, according to the referee, in his attempts to stop him. Eugene Galekovic went well to his left, pulled off the good save, but unfortunately for him, it fell back into the path of the relieved Kevin Muscat, who rammed it into the empty net.
So they've done it again, the Melbourne Victory. A man down, but they still managed to go in front through Kevin Muscat.
Adelaide will be disappointed. They'll feel that was perhaps a touch on the soft side, but they were asking for trouble. They were backing off the Melbourne Victory. They were allowing Allsop and Thompson to run at them. And credit Evan Berger again. It was his setup to head it back inside to Thompson.
Dodd gets on the end of it. Good chasing. Theocritos had to be on his game there. Looked like the ball was going out for the goal kick. Kevin Muscat with his second goal of the season. Matt Letizia had that wonderful penalty scoring record for Southampton. 49 out of 50. And Costanzo, who's on a yellow card, brought Berger down there. Crowd crying out for a second yellow.
Outstanding work again from Evan Berger. Charging at the Adelaide defence, so positive, eyes for the goal. 3 or 4 times this half, he's been the man causing problems for the Adelaide defence, just for his sheer willingness to attack. Instrumental in the lead up to that penalty decision. Evan Berger having an outstanding evening.
Carlos Hernandez. Again over the set piece. He's a long way out, but he goes direct again. And Galekovic got a little flick over the crossbar. It's a corner to the Victory.
The goalkeeper Eugene Galekovic saw it early, got across, and then they're trying to bend it over the wall from some distance. More pressure. Melbourne Victory buoyed by the goal.
And even down to 10 men, they're dominating the shots on goal stat, the home team. Ernie Merrick's attacking philosophy there for all to see. Matthew Kemp delivers near post to Thompson. Tried the flick on, cleared by Costanzo. Little slip at the back, and then Pantelis was manhandled to the ground. That has to be a card for Evan Berger. A professional foul in every sense.
The young Evan Berger there found himself under that high ball. It was an awkward bouncing ball in the centre of the park. Lucas Pantelis got there ahead of him. Berger with a professional foul.
Costanzo gets things rolling to Cornthwaite. Vargas once more with the header. Ogdanovsky. He retreats. Jamison fires it into the mixer. Easy for Theocritos. I was mentioning that penalty stat of Matt Letizia, 49 out of 50 for Southampton. And Mark Crossley, the Nottingham Forest goalkeeper, dines out on the fact that he was the one to stop him. Eugene Galekovic has now stopped Muscat, but the unfortunate thing for him was that Muscat followed up and scored anyway. But I think he'll still dine out in a few years' time that he was the one who stopped him.
Definitely. Perhaps using a little bit of inside knowledge. Obviously teammates at Melbourne Victory the first 2 years of the league. But Melbourne Victory, you've seen the purpose this second half sometimes what happens when a team gets reduced to 10 men, all of a sudden it clarifies the purpose and what you need to do. They've been working very, very hard defensively, and then they know that if they get a chance, they need to really put some forward trust in to try to get something, and it's paid off.
Watch the movement of the white shirts here. All sorts going on as Jamison goes to the back post. Agostino wins the header. Theocritos back to his feet. And the Telstra Dome faithful enjoying this backs-to-the-wall effort from Melbourne. That red symbol, if you missed it, signifies that Melbourne are down to 10 men. Nay Fabiano sent off for spitting in the first half. Matthew Kemp has been brilliant tonight. Wins out another one-on-one battle. Paul Reed wins it back off Zaleski though. Dodd to Cristiano. Back to Reed. Finds Pantelis. Nice ball to the back post. Dodd arriving. It wouldn't have counted anyway. A little push on Burgo, but he's got the height advantage over there.
Better movement of the ball there from Adelaide. That's when they're at their best. Shifting it, getting it wide. And Pantelis again, lovely delivery. And it was attacked by Dodd at the far post. Hands into the back of Evan Burger, who positioned himself wonderfully well. Adelaide need to step up the intensity. Just as Melbourne, their vision was crystallised with the going down to 10 men. Adelaide started the game conservatively, haven't been able to break out of that mould.
And it's one Brazilian for another, but a striker coming off for a midfielder, and they're down 1-0. But Reds fans will be delighted to see Diego back, but why is Cristiano making way, I wonder?
Yeah, interesting choice. I don't disagree that they needed some sort of spark, someone to come on and lift the rating, get some intensity in there. But at the same time, you like to have your goal scorers on the park.
And Diego and Kevin Muscat immediately exchanging words as Melbourne prepare their first substitution. Carlos Hernandez, who's been fantastic tonight, but the attacking midfielder sacrifice for Grant Brebner, much more of a holding play.
Yeah, no real surprise there. Melbourne got the goal that they were looking for on the break. Now perhaps it's time to just shore up the middle of the park. Diego coming on, obviously you add some attacking impetus for the Adelaide side. Grant Brebner, you'd imagine he would almost go in there and directly oppose him in that central area and leave the forward trusting to Thompson and Allsop.
Kevin Muscat doesn't miss a chance, does he? Diego came out in the press during the week and said that grand final loss still hurts, still stings them. And he also spoke about the tackle that Kevin Muscat delivered in the opening minutes of that grand final, and how players hold a grudge at times against Kevin Muscat. As soon as Diego arrived, Muscat let him know about it, that they're behind. And reminded him of that grand final day as well, perhaps. Here he is clearing.
They haven't been beaten by Melbourne since that fateful grand final. But they find themselves with a bit of work to do here, Adelaide United.
But thank goodness for the goal, because things are starting to happen now. We've got a contest. The real Adelaide United now have to chase the goal. Reed just hit it behind Cornthwaite, who set off on the run. Costanzo has Jamison in plenty of space. Instead he goes upfield towards Diego. And bundles it through to Agostino. Muscat and Diego go at it. Muscat on a yellow card, keeps his protestations minimal.
There's not a lot in it. The arm out from Kevin Muscat, but not a great deal of contact. Diego went down.
Sash Ognanovsky placed the ball with purpose. Really does pack a punch with these free kicks. Sash Ognanovsky straight into the wall.
Went for power. The wall doing its job. Archie Thompson collecting it on the back of the thigh.
Fifth corner delivered by Paul Reed. Theocritos comes, punches only as far as Pantelis. Kevin Muscat got the block in, and Diego and Muscat go at it again. Corner taken quickly. Diego, good ball too. Vargas and Dodd vying for the header. Another corner given.
Adelaide United lifting the tempo. You can see them running out to take these corners. They know they need to do something and do it fast.
Jamison this time. Agostino near post. Dodd must have thought about going down as Muscat came across him. Back in towards Sally and Cornthwaite. Pantelis! And he had the direction, but not the trajectory.
Wonderful defending from the Melbourne Victory. En masse inside their 6-yard box. 3 or 4 times in a row dealing with the cross ball. That time the clearance fell to Pantelis. Got great contact on it. Wonderful technique. Couldn't keep it down.
Telling stat there. You've got to get the shots on target. Melbourne doing that in a vast majority. Allsop wins the flick on. Thompson trying to get around Costanzo. A little tug on the shirt was spotted. A small tug on the shirt, just like Thompson copped for the penalty. It's a foul outside the box, so why not a foul inside the box? That's Matthew Breeze's opinion. Paul Reed cuts inside Muscat. Still Reed. Look who's there to dig Muscat out of a hole. Roddy Vargas, who's been outstanding tonight for the Victory.
He read that beautifully, didn't he, Rodrigo Vargas, bailing his captain out who'd been beaten. Paul Reed loved a little bit of skill, cut back inside Kevin Muscat, but Vargas on the spot to clear. Better tempo from Adelaide. They need to keep that tempo up.
Ognanovsky and Cornthwaite the targets for Jamison. Gets it to the back post. Allsop's header. Away to Reed. Pantelis lines it up again.
Well, they'll feel that they're getting closer, Adelaide, but still speculative efforts from outside the box. They still haven't carved out that really good opening.
Matthew Breeze immediately stamping down on potential time wasting as we take another look at this one. Intelligent header from Paul Reed to tee up Pantelis, but plenty of bodies to try and get through and just slice the shot in the end. But Theocritos went for the water bottle straight away, and Breeze blew the whistle and said, get on with it.
He's been alert to everything tonight, Matthew Breeze, hasn't he?
Now Melbourne milking the clock and taking some time to take the throw in. Eventually Kent finds Thompson. Brebner trying to switch it up for Berger, but closed down in the end. Thompson can't keep it in. Diego. Cut out by Brebner, but it breaks for Sally. Here's Jamison. Just moments ago, Jamison clattered into the Melbourne Victory bench. Nearly wiped out Ernie Merrick. There's no hands to the throat, though. No throwback to the Cosmina Muscat moment, which put this fixture on the map. Poor ball by Ognanovski. Grant Brebner moving forward now. Here's Allsop. Ognanovski atones.
Jamison there in his hurry to retrieve the football. Dangerous on that slippery area. Losing his footing, Ernie Merritt calm and cool as always.
Ognanovski finds Agostino. It's the right idea to Cornthwaite. The crowd appreciating that, of course. Cornthwaite involved in the sending off incident with Nay Fabiano.
Credit the Melbourne Victory. They have not allowed Adelaide to settle into any kind of rhythm. Worked so hard with the 10 men to put pressure on them.
Archie Thompson. Kemp is joining in on the right. Pass behind him. They really are marking space here, Melbourne, making it so hard, even though they're down to 10 men. And again, Adelaide United can't get the ball down. Instead, it's Melbourne who have the ball at feet. Also, Brebner will lift it through to Thompson. Cristiano off the field, of course, so Agostino, a lone man up front, although Pantelis is trying to help out up front. He's cut down by Seb Ryle. It's Jamison looking for Agostino. Smallest man on the pitch wins the header, Berger. Nice move to get past Allsop. Still Diego. Still he goes, the Brazilian. Theocritos comes and Diego followed through. Matthew Breeze didn't like what he saw. Potentially inflammatory incident as well. He gets between Muscat and Diego in a hurry.
A wonderful run from Diego. Picked up the ball wide, charged through the middle. Got the lucky rebound. Then his momentum took him forward. Perhaps could have avoided the collision. Theocritos out hard and strong as always.
We've seen a few goalkeepers stay down in the Middle East for not much, but Michael Theocritos has every right to stay down at the moment and receive treatment. Diego clattered into him and picked up a yellow card as well.
Not positive from the yellow card perspective, but good positive work from Diego. They need more of that. They need to take the game to Melbourne. They've really struggled to push Melbourne back. Melbourne have actually looked more dangerous with 10 men.
And they turn around in the last 10 minutes plus stoppage time, the visitors. They do boast that 15-game scoring streak in the Hyundai A-League. Michael Theocritos boasts 2 clean sheets in his 2 games so far this season, looking to make it 3 tonight. Cornthwaite finding Dodd. Look who's across. Vargas, he thought there was a little clip on the way through. The assistant didn't agree.
He read it well though, Rodrigo Vargas. Getting across to help out the fullback. Adelaide normally gets so much drive from their fullbacks and their wingers. Melbourne Victory have done a great job denying him in that area tonight. Berger on the left, Ryle on the right. Really giving Adelaide very little.
9 corners now. Can they make this one count? Jamison once more. Good delivery too. And over again by Travis Dodd. He loves scoring against Melbourne, and he's had his chances tonight.
Good delivery in swinging ball, left foot. Edge of the 6-yard box, Dodd. That's twice now he hasn't been able to get his head over the football from very good positions.
Well, it's almost bang on average for the Melbourne Victory. But they've gone head-to-head with an AFL final in this town for the first time ever, so still a good crowd, around that 25,000 mark. That one almost hit the roof from Theocritos. Also, on to Thompson, who's onside. He can kill off Adelaide here. What a chance for Archie Thompson to make it two. It's a corner.
It was Route 1 stuff, wasn't it? Danny Allsop with a little looping header over the head of it. Sash Olganovsky into the path of Thompson, who thought he was on for the second.
Scored 5 in that grand final, of course, but in the other 10 games against Adelaide, he's only got 1 goal to his name. What a golden chance to add another. And it was Scott Jamieson who kept him onside. Berger's corner. Vargas and Agostino now at it, and another corner to the Victory. Their 5th so far tonight. They just want the ball at this end of the pitch for as long as possible. Kemp is just trotting over to take this corner. Taken a long time to deliver it. Kemp. Lekovic comes. Fortunate no Melbourne Victory player was at the back post.
Again, Adelaide failing to use the extra man to cause any sort of problems for Melbourne Victory. It's a long, hopeful punt forward from Eugene Lekovic.
The start of this grueling schedule for Adelaide United, they had the perfect chance to gather some more momentum tonight against 10 men, take 3 points off the Melbourne Victory before going on the road, taking on the Kashima Antlers in the AFC Champions League quarter-final. They've thrown away that chance thus far. 5 minutes plus stoppage time to turn it around. Pantelis just gives it away to Zaleski. Seb Ryle retreating to Theocritos. Well won by Paul Reed in midfield. Here's Dodd. Cornthwaite in space. Jonas Sully wasn't sure if the pass was coming to him. It's a patient build-up from the visitors. Here's Diego. Muscat at his back. Dodd. Now Sully joins in. Where's the end product now? Reed. Diego. Trying to stretch the Melbourne defence. And the nutmeg didn't work. Evan Berger closed the door.
Now very poor again from Adelaide. The ball movement not sharp enough, making it easy. Melbourne Victory shuffling across, coping easily with anything that's coming their way at the moment.
Jamison against Kemp. Kemp just holds up the attack for a moment. Dodd has Costanzo with him. Jamison now. Another header one. Anxious times for Theocritos. It was Paul Reed this time.
Better ball movement. Jamison this time electing to cross the ball early. Again, though, it was 2 against 1. Wonderful defending. Vargas and Berger putting pressure on Reed. It was no more than a half chance in the end. They've really struggled. We talked about the clarity of purpose for Melbourne once they went down to 10 men. They knew exactly what was required. Adelaide, on the other hand, have failed all night to find any sort of rhythm.
Again, the flick on one by Allsop. Cornthwaite covers up, but another throw into Melbourne, deep in their attack.
The quality of their passing and the dynamic running that we're usually associated with Adelaide just hasn't been there tonight. Aurelio Vidmar will be very disappointed.
Clever play from Thompson. Just to milk the clock a little more. And Adelaide making their second substitution. Daniel Mullen on for Paul Reed. And he's got a trot all the way from the corner.
Not sure whether Paul Reed's out of petrol or why Aurelio Vidmar would wait this long to make that change into the final minute of normal time.
And Mullen came on with the instruction to Ognanovski to get forward. And Ognanovski has pushed forward. Can they find him now? Saw this at Queensland, of course. Ognanovski in a makeshift striker role at times when they were desperate, the Raw. Try and whip a ball into him. Diego and Cornthwaite. Then Berger's in. Costanzo looking for Dodd. Agostino gets on the end of it. Can Dodd find Ognanovski? Stands it up to the back post. Diego keeps it alive. Vargas against Ognanovski. Thompson and Vargas get their wires crossed. It's a throw into Melbourne anyway. And another substitution, the final one for Adelaide United. Fabian Barbiero coming on for Jonas Sally. And Melbourne are reacting as well. Stephen Pace is going to make his entrance.
Melbourne Victory have defended so well in this second half. Started at the front with Allsop and Thompson running hard, putting pressure on Adelaide every time they had the ball at the back, and in and around the penalty area they've just been superb. Adelaide have really struggled to create any meaningful opening. As we said, that pacey movement and quality passing just hasn't been there tonight for Adelaide.
Melbourne were hoping to get Archie Thompson off, but Matthew Breeze said play on. Now that substitution will occur. And listen to the ovation for Archie Thompson. Signed that 2-year contract extension during the week. Said he loves playing for Melbourne, loves the fans, and they love him back. Keeping him here till 2011, that was a major coup during the week.
Yeah, wonderful news for everyone associated with the Melbourne Victory Football Club. He's had a wonderful second half, Archie Thompson. He always looked threatening, and he did so much work in a defensive capacity, pressuring that Adelaide defence, and then he came up with a pivotal moment.
Well, 3 minutes of stoppage time is the word from Matthew Breeze, but all those substitutions might bump it out to 4 minutes. We'll wait and see. One thing's for certain, it's desperation time for Adelaide United. Ognanovski the target, Muscat's header. His goal separates the two sides, the Melbourne captain. Here's Barbiero. Rebner flew into the challenge, but a corner. Make it 10 now for the visitors. Jamison's gone across to take it once more. Galekovic hasn't bothered coming up, the goalkeeper. Still plenty of targets in the box. Costanzo causing Theocritos problems. And Vargas wins the header. Zaleski closes down as well. Barbiero couldn't get the shot away. There's some space for Jamison. Rebner took 2 touches. And was that a penalty shout for Adelaide United? Diego went down. The incident occurred in the box. Diego saying to Matthew Breeze, didn't you see that one? Rebner taking 2 touches just gave Diego a chance to nip in. He did nip in and had his right foot taken out.
Yeah, initially it looked like he'd been nice and calm and composed, but...
So 10-man Melbourne Victory record another famous victory. They're on 10 points now and clear at the top in round 4 of the Hyundai A-League.
Credit the Melbourne Victory against the odds.
At full time here, the Melbourne Victory 1, Adelaide United 0, courtesy of the goal from Kevin Muscat. Let's have a look at the goal from Kevin Muscat. Archie Thompson had Ognanovski at his back. Matthew Breeze was all over this one. He said there was a tug of the shirt. He pointed to the spot. Kevin Muscat stepped up, 17 from 17 from the spot in the A-League's history. He didn't convert, but he was there for the follow-up, tucked it away, and that was the only goal of the match. The Melbourne Victory celebrating 3 points against the odds.
The Melbourne Victory supporters very, very pleased, as you'd imagine. When they had the send-off in that first half, you knew it was going to be a tough evening from then on. But credit them, they came out in the second half. They had a real clarity of purpose. They were much more intense. They were much more threatening on the break, and Adelaide really never got out of second gear.
Let's cross down to Michael Zapponi, who has the match winner with him.
Thanks, Brendan. Muskie, a great win for the Melbourne Victory tonight against all odds.
Yeah, I think obviously the game's changed when Fab got sent off, but all in all, I think right through the second half when we were a man down, they just seemed to be trying to waste time, seemed to be happy to go away with a point, and you run a risk when you do that.
Did you find the boys lifted at half-time? What was said at half-time? Because it looked like the intensity really lifted in that second half.
Yeah, I don't think too much needs to be said because you're up against it, and everyone has to work a little bit harder, and that was epitomised by Danny and Archie, Matthew Kemp and Bergs. Tonight I thought we it was discipline. The work ethic was tremendous, and even though we had 10 men, it's points we thoroughly deserved.
Characteristically, this side this year looks like it is the side of 2 years ago, and it is early days, but showed some real spirit tonight in adverse situation.
Yeah, it depends how the way you look at it. There's so many different players. It's certainly not the same team as 2 years ago, but there's a lot of determination in this squad and a lot of ability. And unfortunately today, man down, we had to change our style a little bit, but still, worthy of the 3 points.
Quick one on the pen, first miss, but your second goal from open play.
Yeah, we can count that as a miss, so now I've got it out of the way.
Well done, mate.
Cheers, Albert. Good luck, mate.
Joining us now also is Paul Agostino from Adelaide. Paul, disappointing effort considering you were playing against 10 men tonight?
Yeah, I think tonight was the worst thing that could have happened to us. Then getting a red card, we were playing very well up until the red card, and for some reason we stopped playing. We just switched off at that stage. Maybe thought it was going to be a bit easier, and they got right into the game. So yeah, first half it looked very, very good. Second half we just really didn't combine well, and not good enough tonight.
Look, you look like you had your chances as well, especially from set pieces, but just couldn't take them.
Yeah, perhaps a little bit more conviction. I think we'll have to work a bit harder on set pieces. There were some good bits there to see tonight, but no, like I said, as soon as they got the red card, we stopped playing.
And a big couple of weeks coming up for you now. Time to regroup and head over to Japan.
Yeah, at least that's a good thing. We've got games coming thick and fast.
Thanks, Paul.
So Adelaide United's unbeaten streak ends at an unlucky 13 games, but all credit to Melbourne Victory, down to 10 men for so long, but they take all 3 points tonight. Don't forget you can have your say on tonight's match. Go to foxsports.com.au/football. Follow the links to Fan Zone, and you can be part of the post-match show with Andy Harper and Paul Trimboli. It's coming up on the other side of this break.